G'day folks, welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be a shed video. I've just picked up the Tommy camper from Dynamic Engineering. It was delivered by Tommy Campers to Dynamic in Hervey Bay. Driven from Hervey Bay back home, it's in the driveway, and now I've got to do a bit of prep on it before I'm able to use it on the trip. Next trip's 3 weeks away, so it's pretty urgent. I get into the prep. I've got to fit the slides to the steps, so the running slides to the steps, they've got to be adjusted. Got to fit some spaces underneath the canopy because it doesn't fit right. Canopy's slightly bigger than my tray by about a half an inch, or 15 millimeters. I'm going to fit the spare tyre to the back, so I've just got to finish off the bracketry for the spare tyre, and I've got to move the electrics to fit my cupboard back in the car. So that's what we're going to have a look at today. If you get anything out of this video, remember to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you want to support the channel, the Patreon link below, you'll see a link to Patreon. Hit that, follow the bouncing ball. Do you want to have a look at the shed first? A quick look at the shed. I've got a massive big bench there, 2.4 by 1.2. 2 visors this end and a buff for sharpening knives down here. Fan and a light there, work light. All my fishing gear over that side, fishing gear over that side. Little like a hardware in that corner. Then all my tools around the rest of the shed. You can see wall full of tools there, and a bit of a hardware slash wall full of tools there. And then I've got my thinking chair. That's where I think. I sit there and contemplate stuff like every man should in his shed. And the best part of all is the space in the shed. Pretty much I can move this table out toward the boat and I've got my entire floor space for the bigger projects. This end of the bench I've got some old cut-offs, clear plastic that I haven't used on other projects, and I've got all my maps under this and a couple of books at the end, and that's where I plan my trips. Also got the insulated roof. Absolutely dream through the summer. We get quite hot summer days here in Queensland, and when it gets up to around 35 degrees. Just putting the legs on here and adjusting the runners that come with it. I've got the right height on that side, so that's working really well. I just got to get the right height on that side, and then this side. When you get one right and the legs are nice and flat based on the height of your vehicle, the next one will be nice and easy. It's an 8mm hole that you just drill straight through where the bolt goes. I've put it so the head's on the inside, so when you're walking up the steps, if your feet are close to the rails, you're not going to hit on a big long bolt. Just a matter of putting the bolt through that hole. That locks the little runners in, and the stairs are perfect height. The rails are some sort of, it's like a urethane or a plastic or something. It's not wood. It looks wood. It's not wood. The runners here, while they're fitted correctly, are quite loose in the bracket, even though the bolts are tight. I'm not real happy with that. You could imagine the corrugations through some of the tracks around Australia, how much they'd shake at the back of the van there. And I don't think you'd hear them, but I know they'd be shaking. And it couldn't be good for the legs or the steps. So my solution is to throw a couple of these in as wedges on the underside of the stairs. Now, this is as good as I could come up with in a minute. I'm sure there are better ways, but that first one went in alright. Now I'm sure the second one will go in alright. I don't think it'll ever move. So there are the wedges. It is rock solid. What I'll do now is just paint them black. A little bit rough, but it works perfectly, and they're underneath, so when it's down you won't see it at all. So I'm going to put the, we'll take the camper off the tray now, and it's got the quick release brackets. I'll show you them. So 4 of these brackets, they go in each corner. Hooks into the stays on the camper. And you've got a threaded rod down to a clamp for the tray. Screw that up using a 17mm. That screws up, clamps it on. There's one of them on each corner. This is a leg. 4 of these, one in each corner. That there is just a safety latch, so when it goes on it can't come back off unless you want it to. That slides up in the corner clamp, like so, and can't come off because of that little safety latch. That's what I do now. I'll go around all 4 corners and take the weight, but I won't actually start lifting it properly yet until I've got the weight on all 4 corners. Once I've got the weight on all 4 corners, then I'll work my way around, lift it up so it's high enough to take the slides out, the spacers, and the spacers is what I've got to attach. Before I'm taking it off, I need to attach the spacers, fix them permanently underneath the canopy, and I'll show you them when I get it up. So I've got the 4 corners all taking weight, but I haven't started lifting it yet. Now undo the umbilical cord from the car to the canopy. Those cords, one's power from the alternator to the canopy, the other one's from the canopy back into the back seat, so I can run a fridge in the back seat. So I've got the canopy off the car now, and these here are the spacers that I've got to attach to the canopy. Those spacers should have come attached, but I didn't want them attached because if it sat flat on the tray without any spacers and it worked really well, it fitted properly, I wouldn't need them. That said, it doesn't. It's about a ½ inch too big for my tray. Put these spacers on, lifts it up. What it does, it gives me a huge gap here between these 2 spacers to put a table in under the canopy and above the tray. Make sure all 4 feet have got weight in each corner, and there's plenty of room now for me to drive forward, get the car out from under the canopy. Then I'll lower the canopy so there's a bit of stability there and I don't have to worry about it on a very stormy, windy night. Not that you'd probably need to worry about. Me being a worrywart, I would. When this is freestanding, the weight in this is all behind these legs here. Above, on this side, all you've got this side of these front legs is the structure for the bed, which isn't a lot of weight. The 23-0 shower curtain, and just the end of the awning on the other side. So that's the only weight forward of the legs. It's only just, the majority of the weight is only just behind those legs. So when I put it down, I'll use the back first. So I'm pretty happy with that. Still a good height to get under it and fix those spaces. When the 3 spaces are fixed, it can be jacked back up, put back on the car, and it'll probably remain on the car because I use it so often that I really don't need to take it off that often. So, but it's handy being able to get it off that easy when you need to actually go ahead and fix something. I'm just putting the spaces on. There'll be 3 spaces, one on each side and then one in the middle. Got some metal screws, and campers are made for these spaces. For anybody that has a tray that isn't quite the right size. I'll get it lined up, get a screw in each end, and then I'll drill the rest of the holes. So I've pre-drilled all the holes, started running around now and putting them all in. Well, that's the spaces all screwed in, nice and firm, there forever. And the space here between the 2 spaces gives me an awesome opportunity for a table, the full length of the tray that'll pull out and have some sort of stopper in the last, say, 1/5 of the canopy, and that'll give it stability for not having a leg, I hope. So just pull it out and have a table. One of the things I have to do next is sort out my spare tyre. Some of the gear there for the spare tyre, and it's already got all the structure there. I just have to mount the bit that goes in the middle of the tyre. I'm just going to have a look at that mount. So that's the mount for the spare tyre. Now, I'm doing all this myself because I wanted to, I was happy to. You can have all this done before you get your vehicle. So don't think, oh shit, when I get my vehicle I'm going to have to do all this work. You don't have to. I just wanted to do this myself, so I can make sure everything's in the right spot. That's the mount, nice big solid mount. That'll attach to the camper, and that's where the bolt goes through that holds the wheel on. Series of holes there, one of them will be right. It's got to work out which one. Tyre's 800 high, 400 to the middle, so if I go up 400, I'm going to be pretty close. And the holes will be done from the inside, as I've said. Just going to measure the bottom one, and I'll find the closest hole to that, drill it, bolt it, and then I'll be able to measure the distance to the other holes on the inside. That one there. These are the bolts. Pretty sure they're 8mm. Yep, 8mm. That's 8mm. A little bit of rust guard. It's basically just a cold gel paint. The big test. We'll go outside and see if the holes line up. Hoping they do. How perfect is that? So now what I'll do, I'll before I gel that, I'll drill the other two and I'll do all the gel at the same time. So that's the spare tyre fitted, just got to tighten it up. So this electrical box is screwed just to the wall here. I'm going to unscrew that, bring it around, put the cupboard in there and screw this to the side of the cupboard so that we've got really good easy access. Come on, come out now. When you're buying a Tommy, you can ask for the electrics to be fitted in an appropriate place to suit you. I wanted them fitted down in this location. Didn't necessarily want them up against the back wall, but I knew that I'd be able to move them regardless of where they were. I just wanted them roughly in that area. The cupboard's purpose built for this location, and those electrics fit just nicely on the side of the cupboard. The end for a little bit. Battery's starting to get low. Done a few things on the van, it's starting to get hot and it's time for lunch. Hope you got something out of this video. Hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel. If you want to support the channel, there's a Patreon link in the description below. Hit that, follow the bouncing ball, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.